Here we go again. NFTs, everyone is talking about them again. This new and awesome investment opportunity that promises to make you a ton of money. So I decided to do some research for my very own, and I dove deep. Hopefully by the very end of this video, you'll be able to make some sense of it and make some money for yourself, or at the very least understand what's going on, because the NFT market is on fire. And consequently, indubitably, so is my wallet. It's back. Check this out, a video of the famous basketball player LeBron James dunking sold for over $200,000 as an NFT. And then the artist Grimes, the girl who has a kid with Elon Musk, she sold her digital art for over $6 million in just one day. And what's crazy is, remember the neon cat meme? Yeah, that sold for $590,000. But what's most interesting is that none of these NFTs or these digital assets have anything physical attached to them. There's nothing real, there's nothing backing them, there's no cash flow. It's just a JPEG or a GIF or a video on a screen. Just when you thought it couldn't get any dumber. You go and do something like this. So the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey's like, hold my beer, because he announced that he was selling the first tweet ever. And when I read that, I was like, I'm sure someone's gonna buy that for an insane amount of money, like $300,000, but no, it turns out I was wrong. The highest current offer is $2.5 million. Totally redeemed yourself. So by all investment metrics, this sounds like it's in pure hype bubble territory. So is this a scam? Because to the boomers, it's tulip mania. To Gen X, it's Beanie Babies. To millennials, it's the ICO crash of 2017. Or is there more to this than meets the eye? Maybe it's a new paradigm or a new investment class. That is what I want to find out, and hopefully by the end of this video, we'll be one step closer to finding out the real truth, because I searched high and low for a video that explains everything, and I couldn't find one, so I made this one. So enjoy, and let's get started. Hi, my name is Andrei Jikh. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the nifty drop. So I wanted to make the introduction of this video ridiculous, and I wanted to highlight the insanity of people throwing and burning away their money for buying these digital pieces of art. And then I want to dedicate the rest of this video in showing you why I think this new technology / investment is going to potentially shape the world that we live in, which I know is a huge tall order, but then later in the video, I want to show you a guideline of what to follow in order to invest your money accurately and properly into buying these NFTs, because obviously not all of them are created equal, and the trick is to find which ones are going to hold and appreciate in value. So NFTs, what is an NFT? An NFT is a non-fungible token, but what does that actually mean? Imagine going to the arcade and then taking some money and then sticking it into the machine to convert it into a different type of currency, where you then use those coins and put them into the claw machine only to realize that it's never gonna work because that game is rigged. It's kind of like that. No, I'm just kidding, childhood trauma. But so people use these popular blockchain tokens to issue their own. So for example, they'll use something like Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot. There's a ton of different ones where people then stake them or put them inside what's called a smart contract. And from this point on, they do something that I'm just gonna unofficially call white labeling, because now from this smart contract, I issue my own currency from my smart contract that I then call something special and unique, like Andrei coin or whatever it is, but it's still based on Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, or what have you. And from this point, I then attach some artwork or some perk to it, and then I can put it on the market where people can then buy it, trade it, sell it, convert it back to Cardano, Ethereum, or back to the dollar. And that is a simplified way of explaining exactly how it works. Now, the reason these tokens have value, though, is really important to understand, because this is where people get confused. NFTs have value for the very same reason that any other piece of art or collectible has value, because it's rare and people want it. Except with NFTs, there's a catch. Because they're digital, this begs the question, couldn't the creator just step in and make more of them? Wouldn't that be a problem? And there's two ways of answering that question. The first is, it would not be a problem because the creator cannot step in and make more coins. For the very same reason that Bitcoin has a maximum supply of 21 million coins, no one can step in and create and mint more of them because it's on the blockchain. And once it's launched, the rules cannot change. Now, technically the creator could make more additions of that same token, but if they do that, there would be slight variations of the token itself, whether that's the ticker symbol that would change or the launch date, which would all be provable and verifiable on the blockchain, even though the artwork itself could be 100% identical. Now, I know that sounds silly, but people care about little details like that. For example, in 1999, the first edition shadowless version of a Pokemon card called the Charizard was released with a first edition stamp on the left-hand side of the card, along with a shadowless border on the right-hand side. And that card now sells for several $100,000, even though an exact identical version of this card was released just a couple months later that didn't have that first edition stamp that now sells for just a fraction of the original. And it's the exact same idea with NFTs. You can create something that is 99.9% like the original, but it will never be exactly the same. The second reason why NFTs are so valuable is because in order to incentivize people to buy and to invest with these NFTs, the creators make these tokens attached to some sort of a physical asset, experience, or an invitation to some event. So if you remember the Logan Paul NFT, if you were to buy one from him, then you were automatically entered into a sweepstakes where you had the chance to get flown out to meet him. Now, luckily, I am frugal, so I saved a whole bunch of money on meeting him by getting invited to his Impulsive podcast, because I'm frugal like that. But that's one of the reasons why they have so much value, is because what is it worth to trade the experience of meeting someone you look up to, or perhaps somebody famous? Like, you're right, that'd be worthless. But the next question then becomes, is it worth buying and investing our money into, or is it only the creators that are getting rich from selling their tokens? And the answer to that is, it depends on what you buy. So I've created a list of criteria that'll hopefully help you out with that I want to share with you now. But first, smash the like button and subscribe to my channel so I don't have to beg you in the future. You don't have to have all of these factors true, but the more you can line up for yourself, the better off you'll be. So the first one I like to call notorious. That means the creator of your NFT has to be Notorious B.I.G. No, I'm just kidding. It has to be somebody who's popular, somebody who's famous, a worldwide icon, genre, or brand. The bigger the better, and the safer your investment will be, because if you buy something like Harry Potter or Star Wars merchandise, that will always have some sort of a value because of the millions of fans around the world that will always be there to buy up that merch. So that's really important. The second factor I look for is ironically called first, and that just means the first NFT from that creator, or maybe the first of its kind, or maybe the first from that industry. So what does it mean to have the first NFT ever? That's one of the reasons why CryptoKitties is so valuable, because it was one of, if not the first NFT that was ever created. So it will always have some significant value because people love that. Maybe it's the first NFT from that creator, which will always have value because it is historical. It's the first they've ever done, or maybe it's the first of its kind. Maybe the first from the Pokemon industry, or the sports industry, or from the music industry. That first factor always creates excitement, buzz, and hype. And if you can get in on that, that'll be valuable. The third factor I look for is something called tangible, which means that that NFT has to have some sort of a tangible element to it that goes beyond just being digital. Maybe that NFT has some sort of a physical asset attached to it, like perhaps a Pokemon card that you can claim from the creator himself, like Gary the Pokemon King. What's up, Gary? He doesn't watch my videos. Or maybe it's some sort of an experience that you get to have with the creator, like perhaps meeting them or collabing. Whatever it is, that is important. Digital rights is something that's also tangible that people value. And the last factor that I look at is scarcity, which means that it has to be rare, which I realize is subjective. For some people, rarity means one of one. For some people, it's one of 10,000. It just depends on the notorious part, right? It depends on how big that space is. Full disclaimer, this system was 100% made up by me. It is not real. It is also not bulletproof, but because I have the memory span of a squirrel, I can't remember or anything, this is a great way to memorize that the best way to find an NFT, a non-fungible token, is to look for the NFT, the notorious, the first, and the tangible. So using this criteria, let me share with you two industries that I think are set to explode in the NFT space this year and in the coming decade. That sounded like a pitch for something like, sign up to my newsletter and I'll share with you the top best stocks. I promise I'm not gonna sell you anything. All that I ask is that you smash the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Coming in at number 1, this is one of the best applications of NFTs right now where you'll see a huge amount of growth in is, drumroll, NBA Top Shot. So NBA Top Shot is actually a marketplace created by the NBA to highlight some of the best moments in NBA sports history, kind of like this one right here, which is called a moment. This is the NFT, which comes in the form of literally a video screen like this one right here, which is LeBron just dunking on someone. That card sold for $208,000, and it is the first edition, and it's one of the factors that I look for a lot, which is first. It's the first of its kind, so it'll hold its value, if not increase tremendously, just because wealthy fans of LeBron will be buying that in the future. Please pay specific attention to the sports NFT arena, because even though I know it sounds crazy to drop something like $200,000 on a video of someone playing a sport, this is gonna change sports history. Not only for the investor and the average avid collector who collects the cards, but more importantly, for the players themselves, who in the future, they'll be able to negotiate into their contract rights over the footage of themselves playing the sports that they can then create into an NFT and then sell it to their biggest fans. That is an entirely new way of monetizing sports, which is huge. I mean, imagine if someone like Steph Curry created his own NFT of himself scoring all his three-pointers, or somebody like Michael Phelps created an NFT of himself finishing first and getting all his gold medals at the Olympics. You know, those moments that we have fallen in love with throughout sports history. What is that worth? For now, it's worth a couple $100,000. But in the future, who knows? This is gonna get even crazier when technology actually catches up and makes it easier for people to actually get into this and invest versus having to watch a 10-minute long YouTube video of some dude trying to explain it to you who thinks he's funny. So now let me share with you another niche within the NFT space that is set for some explosive growth. Number 2, the music industry. Now I know that is way too broad, so let me get more Pacific. So specifically, I am looking at the EDM world with artists like Steve Aoki, Blau, Chainsmokers, Marshmello, Calvin Harris, Diplo, Martin Garrix, Tiesto, David Guetta, Armin van Buuren, and my evil twin doppelganger, Zed. Now maybe it's because I'm from Las Vegas and I'm very biased, but let me tell you something. Before the pandemic, the amount of people that were coming to this city to see their favorite music artist was unbelievable. The amount of money that people were dropping at these clubs was unheard of. In fact, some of the highest grossing artists in the world are EDM artists, and that is for a very good reason. And that's specifically because they can generate hype like nothing I've ever seen before. The EDM industry is massive, and the types of fans that belong to it are some of the best fans that I have ever seen, because they will go out of their way to support their favorite music artist. So I think as far as NFTs go, this niche is the best one to really put your money into, but this really begs the question, is this a bubble ready to pop, or is it something else? Here's what I think. I think we're just getting started. In the near future, you're gonna have business leaders, creators, industry titans create their own NFTs that people will be able to trade and eventually redeem for a lunch meeting, a business meeting, a party invitation, a collab with these people. The reason these tokens are growing in value is because it's almost like investing in the future of that person's career. Imagine going back to 1999 when Elon Musk created PayPal. What would someone pay for that NFT if he had created one? Maybe a couple $1,000s at that time, but what would that token be worth today now that he's the richest person in the world who's at the very forefront of helping humanity become a type 1 global civilization? What is that worth to people to have a face-to-face? What would people pay? They paid $4.57 million to get a lunch meeting with Warren Buffett. What would someone pay to get a collab with me? Maybe someday when I'm relevant. But if you want to start investing here, here's what you need to know. The first thing you want to do is make an account with your favorite NFT marketplace. Now, there's a ton of them out there. There's Nifty Gateway, Super Rare, Rarible, OpenSea. Again, a ton of them. I use Nifty Gateway. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. I'm not affiliated. This is just what I used. And there's two ways to fund your account. One that's complicated and one that's really easy. The complicated way is to set up what's called the MetaMask wallet. So if you go to metamask.io, you can think of it as sort of like a Google Chrome extension for your browser where you can put Ethereum and other cryptos into, where you fund your wallet and then you can use it to buy other artworks. Now, oftentimes artists require Ethereum. That's just the most popular cryptocurrencies that they want. And so once you've funded your account, then you can start buying. But once you've downloaded it, just please make sure you're not getting it off of like Google. Don't just Google MetaMask. Go to metamask.io directly. Otherwise, you just never know what you downloaded. So that's the first method. Now, unfortunately, if you fund your wallet this way, it's going to take you several days to see the money in there. I transferred from BlockFi into MetaMask, and it's been over a day now, and I still don't have the money. I'm sure it will come at some point, you just have to wait. Unfortunately for the NFT that I bought, I could not wait because the drop was literally today. So instead, the way easier way to do this, but it requires more of your information, is to connect your bank account or your credit card. It requires your phone number to get verified. That is very important, get verified, your name and email, and once you've done that, then you can actually start buying these NFTs. And the rest is really just watching the secondhand countdown and seeing if you can be one of the first few people, because it goes quick. Full disclosure, I did buy my first NFT ever, which was from Steve Aoki's drop, but one of the most exciting things about this concept is that it's like my favorite movie of all time coming to real life. Okay, it's not my favorite movie, but it's definitely one of my top 5. Ready Player One, hugely underrated. It's like this VR world that we're creating with all these digital items that we'll be able to rent out and sell or trade with other people and move from one game to another. It's an exciting time to be alive. But more importantly, the reason that these NFTs are so exciting and the reason that they're not just hype to me is because for the first time in human history, we are waking up to realize that we have access to a technology that doesn't give up control over ourselves to other corporations who have made these deals behind closed doors and have cut us out, and we were not invited to that party. For the first time, we are given a technology that gives us control over our assets and ourselves, and by extension, other forms of expression of ourselves in a way that we don't have to get middlemen involved and we don't have to pay them insane amounts of money for. In the meantime though, no one knows which of these NFTs will hold their value or increase, which is why you should use your discretion, be careful, and go get up to $250 worth of free Bitcoin using this BlockFi link right here, blockfi.com/Andrei. And once you've done that, go get 2 free stocks with Webull using the link down below. By depositing $100, you'll get 2 free stocks, each of which can be valued up to $1,850. Once you've got the free stocks, go track them with my Patreon spreadsheet down below. It does it for you automatically. Love you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this helped, and I will see you back here on Monday and Friday, sometimes a Wednesday. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.